What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. I got a review for you. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, today we are taking a look at a new model from Remette. This is the Bee, and it is a very interesting and unique model. So it is a frame lock M390 blade steel, and it does have a little bit of a party trick that we're going to show you here in a little bit. So Remette is doing their label on the pocket clip on this one, and I think I'm okay with that. I would have taken that or like right in here in small print Remette, long as it's not in front of the thumb stud. I would have been okay with that. Titanium handles, frame lock, milled for weight reduction on the... That's interesting. It is weight reduction on the pocket clip side, but it looks like it has a steel inlay. Yeah, it does. It has a steel inlay on the show side, and I bet I know why that is. You have OK access to the lock bar. You have thumb stud or flipper tab deployment. The flipper tab looks like it's not going to be really good with that style jimping, but it's aggressive. So they did aggressive jimps in there, and you can really grip it very well to deploy it. Satisfying detent, and very good thumb studs. I like the thumb studs on this one. The detent and thumb stud action, very good on this one. I also like what they did with the pivot bolts here. I don't know if they are titanium. I don't think that they are steel. I think they are titanium. So I don't know if that's laser etching that they did on top of anodizing. Not entirely sure. You got a steel lock bar insert, nice springy pocket clip, and it is a 3.5 finger grip for me. A little bit of a smaller guy. I honestly, when I saw this one, thought it was going to be a little bit bigger, but they did a good job here with the scalloping and giving you plenty of room to index up to the first knuckle. For me, your mileage may vary there. And then you got a blasted finish M390 blade, ceramic bearings in the pivot, giving you very good action and very satisfying detent. Now this has gone through the pass around, so when I started with the cutting, going through the paper, it was catching a little bit, and you know, you could definitely tell that others had cut with this one for sure, but the geometry was very thin. So when I moved to the cardboard to do some cutting there, it was moving through the cardboard very easily, even with a little bit of damage done to the fine edge. The actual edge itself was holding up very well, and again, it was slicing and cutting very good. Very awesome at the detailed work. It has a sheep's foot blade here, acute, very dropped down to the tip point on the edge, and it just moved through the cardboard so easily. And then I went ahead and stropped it up and honed it afterwards. And you know, it took a little bit of effort, but it wasn't awful. The angle on these are a little bit steep. If I had to guess, probably somewhere around 22 degrees per side, if I had to guess. It doesn't look like it's laid back very far, so more of a hard use type approach knife here that they got going, even though it is very thin in the flats here. It doesn't have a very thick blade stock to begin with, and it gets down to a very fine edge that performed very well in cutting, and ergonomically was very comfortable. The milled titanium pocket clip laid flat. The jimping back here was okay. I wish this was a little bit sharper to match what you find on that flipper tab, but it was comfortable, especially choked up trigger position, able to kind of use this. If I needed to really grip down, I'd probably either move back over top of the flipper tab so I can get all 4 fingers on there but get back off of that edge a little bit, or I would just go ahead and move back behind the flipper tab and then arc my thumb a little bit more to try to keep it out of that sharpening choil, forward choil, so that I can grip down if I really needed to, as well grip to pull up if I was trying to cut away a strap or something like that. Ugh, tongue twisted there. Action, very nice. Again, good detent, came centered, even with it being in the pass around, nice and centered here. And then what I think is pretty cool and a nice little party trick, and why I think there isn't any weight relief here, is because it does have a titanium toothpick. And I think obviously outside of the stated toothpick, this has some other applications if you're trying to get a knot out, or if you're trying to reach down into something detailed. This would be really helpful in that regard. And it's so minimal and so small, it doesn't take up a lot of space. They're using the milling here and milling relief cut there to kind of lock it into place, and it feels pretty secure, and I never noticed it moving around or anything like that. Unfortunately, with that being there, it does limit this to being righty only, so no reversible clip. But honestly, I think that's the case with a lot of the Remette titanium or premium knives. I don't think they're doing anything reversible. I could be wrong there, but I don't believe that they are doing any reversible on their premium lines. I think just on their budgets. I know I mentioned that this is a little bit smaller than I thought it was going to be, so let me help you out with some size comparisons. Okay, so we're going to start out with the Spyderco lightweights that I own. The Para 3 lightweight is going to be identical in size to the Bee, so hopefully that'll help you right there. And then the Manix 2 lightweight, obviously going to be larger. Let's do a couple more. All right, so we are going to have a couple of unique comparisons here. So I think it's a little bit more comparable to the Devo Knives Lush in size, and obviously far away from the Padre here, which is a full-size knife. But I did think this would help for the profile comparisons. Let's do closed-up profile and we'll weigh it. All right, we're going to use the smaller knives here, and I just realized I had that Para 3 very close to that. I think it's more comparable to, again, the Devo Knives Lush in both the height, the depth in which it'll carry. Now, the titanium pocket clip will have a little bit more sticking out of the pocket, but that means when you take into consideration where these other wire pocket clips stop, it'll go a little less deep into the pocket. And I think closed up profile, more similar to the Lush. Now, they are slightly contoured scales, so it is a little bit thicker than your Para 3 lightweight. And then I think it's very comparable. Yeah, very comparable, maybe just a skosh wider at the highest point than the Lush is. Let's grab the scale and check the weight on this one out. All right, scale is out and on. Let's see what this one is coming in at. Coming in at 3.4 ounces. How does that compare against the Lush? Lush coming in at under 3. So I think that steel with the titanium pocket clip there is playing a factor into the weight on that one, coming in at 3.4 as I cut the scale back on again. There we go. Very interesting. As far as scoring on the knife, things I take into consideration are materials offered, build, quality, and performance of the knife overall. There's a lot of positive here. I'm going to start out with the price. As of the recording of this video, I don't know if they're doing a sale, but on their own website, it's coming in at $195. So again, very comparable price point to that Devo Knives Lush. You're getting, let me make sure, I thought I saw M390 when yeah, M390. Just making sure. For some reason, when I was looking at it, something else caught my eye. You're looking at M390 versus S90V. You're looking at all titanium on both, but you're getting the carbon fiber inlays in varying degrees. You're getting a worn clip versus a sheep foot blade here on the Bee, and then you're getting the titanium pocket clip, but you're getting reversible action here on the Lush. So very interesting, multiple means of deployment here, but again, very interesting comparison for the Bee. I think the Lush is something that is absolutely you could take into consideration. But if you would like something that's sterile, all titanium, with minimal going on with it, the Bee is very, very interesting, and it's very well made. I wish it was just a little bit bigger this way, so I could get the rest, at least half of my pinky on it in this position. But I do recognize that is why they have this cutout here, so that you kind of choke up and get that fourth finger onto the back of that. But for me, I would have appreciated just a little bit more, not much, just a little bit to get like that half a finger on there, maybe 3/4, and maybe you could have made the blade a little bit longer as a result of that, but that's a minor complaint. action, all of that is very good. For me on this one, I think it's a very solid 7.4. I think this is very, very nice for the money. Very well executed. I know that's a bigger score than what people probably would have thought on this one, but I do like this. Could flex into a gents carry. The speed holes make it a little bit questionable, but I do like, again, the toothpick hidden into the scale. I think that's a nice little touch there, and it hides pretty nicely. I wonder if they could have made that a little bit more flush, because you do have good jimping on there to grip to move it out, and man, it's locked in there pretty solid. But it doesn't bother me, and I don't notice it when I'm using the actual knife. So I think that's where I'm at with the score on this one. You guys let me know, do you agree with me or not on this particular one? And what else besides the Lush would you recommend at under 200 at this price point? I know there's quite a few Devo knives out there. I think there's some Kaisers out there as well. I think you could go after the Militaw. I think they're what, like 150 starting, and then hitting right at 200. So I think the Militaw, if you wanted something bigger that was gent-esque, and you also wanted something drop point as opposed to the sheep's foot blade shape here, that could be a really good option for you as an alternative recommendation as well. Let me know what you think about the Bee down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and if you're not interested in this one, just let me know what you're carrying in your pockets, or feel free just to say hi. If you enjoyed the video on your way out, feel free to hit the like. I'd appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I love you guys. I hope you all have a fantastic week. I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.